it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, guys, and he is back. The Chuckacore, Monty the Manticore, the Manticore. I think I'm gonna make this the all Manticore all the time channel. Do you mind if I just every video is the Manticore until I prove it is the greatest tank in the game? It's not the greatest tank in the game, but I will tell you what, I have had a lot of fun with this tank in the recent past. Now that I've put Chuck in there, he just really seems to give it that, extra zing that it requires. Ideally, what Wargaming would do is change this from a 2 crew to a 1 crew and just make it all Chuck driving this. All right, he's got voiceover and he says he doesn't even need a tank. A Chuck running around maybe would be cool as well. But anyway, we are here on highway. I've spawned into the southwest. This is a standard battle, and I'm going to show you the brutality of stealth. We're going to talk a bit about stealth in this game. We're going to talk a bit about scouts, how to play them. But more importantly, I think I'm going to go over a bit about how stealth can be employed in this game and why a tank like this is so good at it. Now, you have scouts that are wheeled tanks, and they do it by speed, and although they do have a decent amount of stealth, they simply zing around. A tank like this is going to have to take forward positions or forward enough to see and get lights for his team right here. Now, I should have knocked that down. That was a bit of a mistake, but I wanted to get into these bushes. Now, this map is pretty good for scouts. So a lot of what I'm talking about isn't really going to apply, obviously, on Himmelsdorp. Himmelsdorp. Ruinberg has some bushes here and there you might be able to use, but a lot of the city maps, Himmelsdorp, what's the one with the train track, whatever the hell that one's called, Ensk. All right, some bushes out in the field, but it's not as wide open as this one. So, stealth is great. I love scouts. This is the kind of map I love for scouts, but I also realize that not every map is for scouts, all right? So let me just chuck that out there. However, when you get a map like this and are able to use that vision control that a tank like this gives you, and it's stealth, and I think most importantly in this case, it's stealth. So I don't really see anything going on. There is a couple issues this tank has to work with. One is its gun elevation is terrible. You notice I couldn't even lift it up far enough because I was on a downslope. So I have to back up. And now I'm going to see if I can just take out this 13105. It's hard to pass up a kill shot on another scout because that's the thing that's going to find me the most. All right, that's my biggest problem is another scout, and I get rid of one of them, take that risk. Also, this tank is shot limited or ammo limited, so when you kill something, you have to make sure, or when you shoot anyway, you have to make sure it's a shot that you want. Then I find the other scout, and he's out here. He is now lit, so we'll just zoom all the way in. Put a little thump on him. People are seeing him. Now he's lit again. Look at the long reload. So there's a third thing that's difficult about this tank. Although it hits relatively hard, it does take forever to reload. So your timing with if you play a lot of scouts, your timing with this one may be a little bit off. Let's talk about stealth a little bit in this game. First of all, this thing is running, I have a 50% camo rating on this thing right now. 50%. All right, I'm running low noise exhaust. I have a full camo crew, not hard because there's only 2 of them. I am running food, and I have a camo directive. So I'm running at 50% camo. The thing about this tank that's really cool is it's very low slung. And why is that important? It's important because it presents a smaller target to hit. It's also pretty fast. That helps. And it's able to sneak into places. It's also very small. It's able to sneak into places that some other scouts or mediums simply cannot do. So the stealth of the 50% camo is going to help you right off the bat. But also its ability to sneak into places because of its low profile. One thing you'll find with higher profile tanks is sometimes you'll be moving through the undulations and moving up in a map, and all of a sudden the top of your tank will just peek up over the edge enough, and the way the line of sight works for vision in this game, they'll pick up that little spotting point on your nugget up top there, and they'll see it. This tank is low slung and allows it to move through some of those undulations in the map in the game that other tanks cannot. Well, let's talk about that for a second, because the way the game is designed is essentially around kind of an average tank. Okay, and I'm not saying that because I know how it's designed. I'm just saying that that's the logical way that it would be designed as far as where the terrain is and how tall things are and the undulations you can hide in. And it doesn't really take into account either any of the outliers, either really big tanks, which you have a problem because a lot of places you just can't get into without getting spotted, or very, very small tanks, which is what we have right here. And it's why there is a force multiplier involved with a little tiny tank like this that actually increases its capability above used correctly, increases its capability above and beyond the raw stats of it. And this has always been my argument with the little British light tanks, is that people don't take into account some of the things they can do if played properly. Now, I just moved up here. You saw multiple guys, 50% camo 1, low slung 2, able to sneak through these little low swales in here and move up in here. I just went up into that bush, lit that guy, and he did not see me. He did not see me. A higher tank may have actually showed the top of the spotting point before I got into the bush. So there he is, and he's actually, and I'm just getting, look at this, I'm just eating up the spotting, and I'll just come up here and take a chance. The other thing you want to think about with tanks like this, now I knew I was going to get spotted there, is time your shots appropriately and take them when they're needed. You don't want to go pure stealth, but you don't want to let people get free shots on you. Nobody knew I was there, and I got a bunch of guys lit. This tiny bush. Nothing. They didn't see me. I saw both of them. Guy's just going down. More spotting damage. Can't quite get that one. There was something in the way. More damage on the 140. And we've taken down 4 of them, and we own the field. Now, the red team did a very poor job attempting to take the field. The problem is that this side, the side I was on, is stronger for holding the field a lot of times, especially if the red guys don't push into it. So there's a lot of things going on here all at once, but a lot of it has to do with just how stealthy this ridiculous little tank can be if played right. I'm just sneaking through the bushes. I'm not even too worried I'm going to get spotted by mediums over there, even if they have a direct line of sight. They're right at the edge of the spotting there, and I've got 50% camo. So we'll just get in here. Now what I'm waiting for is my guns, okay? Think about this while you're playing a scout. Do you have people who can shoot what you're spotting? I have maybe one guy just topped. It looks like the AMX-30. The 4005 is way down below. The Leopard, maybe. He's way back there. He might have shots up here. But here comes 2 more up over the top. And as soon as I get my forces gathered, I'm going to start pushing in on these guys. As a matter of fact, I think the STB YOLO's past me. I try to be a little bit more careful maybe than him. Knock down a tree. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes letting them know that you're coming will stir them up a little bit. But that's just me trying to make knocking down a tree a good thing, in which case it really wasn't. But don't knock trees down if you don't want them to know you're over there. And then if you want to justify it and rationalize it, then act like it was a 300 IQ move. That's what you should do. So we find the GW on here. He didn't even see me. Then he sees me. Actually, I think he did see me because I fired and the light went right off. So I was probably in my 3-second countdown. All right. So it wasn't quite that stealthy. And we did take down those 2 for a nice little pass Gucci's. And now we'll just keep on moving forward. So I didn't talk about it too much, but that move through the middle, there's a lot of tanks you just can't do that with. Even light tanks. The enemy was in a bad position insofar as they were positioned poorly on the edge right there, and the couple guys they had there got wasted because I saw them before they saw me. If they had a longer spotting range guy. But that's the thing also about this tank. Because of its low slung nature, it's difficult to come across the low ground. That's why it's always hard to push through these pits that the Wargaming has built in a lot of their maps, because it's so easy to see. You need something with a lot of stealth, with a lot of camo, and something small that can kind of sneak through the little areas, get behind bushes as opposed to be towering up above the bush. So when you got the line of sight down, it's hard to sneak. If there's a bush here, line of sight down, it's hard to sneak into that bush without actually being seen on the other side of it. But a lower slung tank will have a better time with it.
We damaged them.
So we come around here, we get up to 1800, we got 4,686. Don't forget endgame when you're cleaning up with a scout or a light tank. Even a medium tank for that matter. Any tank, let's just put it that way. But especially for these tanks, you would like to get as much assist as possible, and tracking somebody will get you assist. We'll just down that guy. 268.4 sitting there. I was a little bit worried the 110.3 might just come around the corner, but it doesn't seem interested. Here's that long reload. We'll just come in here and see if we can just wait. We'll get the shot. There we go. End up killing him, and then the 110's looking at us, so let's not let him have a shot. Looks like he took a shot, so we'll go on in here. Go right by this guy. Long reload, so we'll just go for that back track, and didn't quite get it. I considered trying to wedge myself in there, but I figured he might be able to get around and shoot me, so I'll just back in. Oop, okay, he's busy with that guy. Oh geez, he fired so he can go by. Artie hits me. Thank you, Owen Artie. That was fun. Get one more shot on that guy. and down he goes. And we've got 3,153, 5,527 through some assist on at the end right there. So there you go. The brutality of camo, the brutality of stealth in this game, if used correctly. It's map dependent. I got it. But for your scout players, for you scout players out there, consider all the options you have with the scout as far as getting up and facilitating damage. I facilitated 8,600 and some change, almost 8,700. Math in public right there. Just by getting into initial position, assessing what's going on, being very careful as I move forward, but understanding that this tiny little tank with its great camo and good view range is going to do a really good job of finding them before they find it. It's brutal when it works. I've got a couple of videos already out regarding this with the Manticore. This is the top level of that capability. However, this is a pure tier 10 game, so everyone here probably has pretty darn good view range. All right, even the mediums, leopards, things like that, they have good view ranges. So you end up getting spotted quite a bit unless you've got a really good stealth setup with your tank. I'm also running the CBS just for your SA on this, which is going to help burn through bushes as well. Very, very useful for digging campers, i.e. the guys that were at the base right there, out of their little nests. All right, the All Manticore All the Time channel, guys. Let me know what you think down below. That's all I've got for today. Coffee's good. I'm going to get to streaming. We'll see you guys later.